Hi everybody! It's been a while since I've made a cooking video, and it's because I needed a new computer. Technology happens. A lot of things have changed around Casa Pashovich since we did the last cooking video, and we are both on a gluten-free diet, believe it or not. And I'll go into the other things later, but my husband has lost about 30 pounds, and I've lost about 40 pounds, and I have short hair. Also, I have my first apron in over a decade, so I am basically domestic as fuck today. As usual, we will have a very aggressive cat meowing, expecting everything in the kitchen to belong to her. And we will have a very cute schnauzer mix barking at whatever leaf blows by or squirrel goes by. So if you have to go gluten-free, I do not recommend replacing everything you eat with gluten-free products. I recommend just giving up things like pie crust and biscuits and breads, because one thing that I learned is that it's empty calories. As you can see by looking at me, I'm still plus size, but I didn't have to do any exercising to drop over 40 pounds, and I replaced my breads and things like that with more protein. Yeah, my triglycerides, my cholesterol, my heart, everything is perfect. I'm 44 years old, and my blood work came back better than it ever has before. And I'm not saying that wheat is the great Satan, or that it's evil, or that it's bad for you, but if you were like my husband and I were, you were completely addicted to it and you put it in everything. But one thing you don't have to give up is pie, if you don't want to. And I'm going to turn this around here, and I'm going to show you how I make crustless pumpkin pie. Ready? Now, over here in the corner, you see my ingredients. The recipe that I have, I clipped from the back of the can of the Kroger pumpkin. I swear to God, and I'm going to read it to you. Traditional pumpkin pie, 1 15-ounce can of pumpkin, 1 14-ounce can of sweetened condensed milk, 2 eggs slightly beaten, 1 teaspoon ground cinnamon. I use 1.5 because I'm spicy like that. 1/2 teaspoon ground ginger, 1/2 teaspoon ground nutmeg, 1/2 teaspoon salt. And if you want it in a pie shell, you use an unbaked pie shell. So I'm going to pull things over, and we're going to get started. First off, have your mixing bowl ready. You're going to set your heat to 425 degrees, and what that does is that does a quick cook on the custard, and then after 15 minutes, you're going to lower it to 350 degrees, and you're going to go for about 30 minutes, and it's perfect. Here we go. And I'm going to tilt this a little bit more so that you can see just a little bit better. This is going to be a very, very fast recipe. And once we get started mixing, we're done very quickly. First thing I do is I crack the eggs, put them in there. This is really simple. There's not a lot to it. So there go the eggshells. Okay. Next, I've already opened this. You scrape your pumpkin in there. You can use this amount of fresh pumpkin that you've cooked yourself if you prefer, but I found it doesn't taste any different. And the only thing in this is the Aldi's brand of pumpkin. All there is in it is pumpkin. There's no additives, there's no preservatives. Okay. And then I'm sure there's a lot of additives and preservatives in sweetened condensed milk. That's okay, it's dessert. We've pulled some of the fat out by obliterating the crust. So this is basically just kind of like a souffle, or a mousse, or a whatever, or a baked custard, if you will. Because you've got your 2 eggs and you've got your milk in here. Now, if dairy bothers your stomach like it does mine, you might not want to eat this. I bake one of these each week for my husband, and he takes a slice to work every day. All right. Next, half teaspoon ginger. Oh, here comes the cat. Here comes the cat. Half teaspoon ginger. There she is. Hi, Betty. Half teaspoon salt. And 1.5 of this. I interrupt this to remove the cat. She's awful cute, but the pie is better looking. Come on, Betty. Come on. Okay, good girl. Good girl. And now we wash our hands. Back to the show. Now, I do a little something unusual for my pumpkin pie because I found out that the fresh nutmeg tastes much better than the ground. So these whole nutmeg cloves, all you need is a regular cheese grater, and you use the very fine side, not that one, this one. And I don't measure it, I just go till I think it's enough. I'm 44 years old, I've been cooking for a long time. I know what a half a teaspoon looks like. If it makes you feel better, you go right ahead and you grind it out and you measure. Here we go. That looks like enough to me. Now, believe it or not, we're not going to use an electric mixer and we're not going to use a spoon. We're just going to go like this. And I'm going to tilt this down a little more so that you can watch me. Look here. There we go. Some people will beat the eggs first. I never bother. See this? This is actually almost finished being mixed up. Just until everything's completely incorporated. It doesn't take that long. That's all you have to do, believe it or not. So now, watch this. Here we go. "15 minutes at 425 degrees, and when that's done, turn it down to 350 degrees, and you go for 30 minutes, and you're going to take it out and you're going to cool it. Now, while we're talking about pies, I'm going to talk about something else you can do if you're watching your gluten. You can do a crumb ball, which is going to have a little bit more fat in it. I made this earlier today. We've got a crafting gathering this evening. I crochet, some friends paint, some friends do beads. We have so much fun. And I decided that I wanted to make apple blackberry crumble. And you can get this recipe from Quaker Oats. It's just their gluten-free apple crumble recipe. And it calls for 5 cups of the apples. And instead of just apples, I do have apples and have blackberries, and I put in a pinch of cloves with the cinnamon. You can find that at quakeroats.com. And you see, now some people will probably tell you to grease the bottom of your pan when you're making your crumble or your pie because they think it won't lift out. Yes, it does. It lifts out perfectly. Now, since this is fruit that was baked on, this is going to have to soak when we're done, but it comes right out with hot water, and it's very, very easy. All right, so fingers crossed this computer holds up and the video capacity stays. I would like to be making some more recipes and talking about healthful eating without sounding like a food Nazi, even though that's what I've turned into. At any rate, thank you so much for watching, and you have a great day. I'll see you next time.